Hey Madeline, are you an alien?
I mean, I follow a very strict reverse aging diet and therapy program. It's very expensive, as you can imagine, but I'm not an alien.
Welcome to the headquarters of the human resistance.
Where's my hair?
Your hair has been destroyed to prevent you from contacting your ship.
What ship?
Your mothership.
Okay. In the next 48 hours, the police and the FBI will begin a statewide manhunt. I'm a high-profile female corporate executive.
Hi, I'm Jackson Avery Steele, and I'm the horror veteran.
And I'm Madelyn, the horror novice, and welcome to Bloody Wankers.
Your quintessential home for all things horror. Today we are talking about Bugonia. Madeline, what was your spoiler-free thoughts of Bugonia?
Spoiler-free, I would say the acting is very strong. Every single person delivers their character and leaves such an impact on you. And I would say that the cinematography, the way it sets up the whole story and the very beginning is all very well done. It has unique shots. It has interesting focus on things that aren't the characters to start with, which I thought was, I always like a movie that does that, honestly. It sets the scene.
Yeah, so a short synopsis of Bugonia is it starts off and we're introduced to two cousins, and they are doing an exercise regimen and trying to get themselves into shape to kidnap a CEO. And they kidnap the CEO because they think that she's an alien. It's a lot of talking and just the drama of kidnapping and then ultimately trying to get out of confession. I think my spoiler-free thoughts is Jesse Plemons is an incredible actor. I've always thought this from Breaking Bad and Civil War and Game Night. Bugonia, he just delivers such an incredible performance. And he really should have gotten Oscar nominated at the very least. And it was a big snub. And yeah, Madeline, now getting into spoilers, what did you think of it?
I think that the whole situation with the cousins, it's a really interesting take on mental illness and what it becomes if there isn't a community of support. I think it's tragic. I think there is a lot to be said and a very strong story that can be told when it comes to extreme polarized ends, when it comes to mental illness and how it impacts people. And people who accidentally or on purpose manipulate others because they don't, have connection otherwise.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons, the lead actor, he manipulates his cousin who is...
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah, on the spectrum. And yeah, it's really sad because his cousin just wants to be there and be happy for him. And it's obvious that they're kind of the only two people in each other's lives. Mm-hmm. And it's a really sad situation. Now, do you want to talk about Emma Stone's character and how the reveal was?
Oh, okay. The whole reveal, throughout the story, we watch these cousins. They are in their home. They're poor. The rest of their family is dead and or gone. And the elder one, Jesse Plemons, is the actor. He is blaming it on aliens. And he is fully convinced the younger cousin that this is the reason they are in this situation. And if they can just find an alien to take them to the mothership, they can end all suffering on Earth, is the pitch that he gives him.
They can kind of reason with the aliens and make them move on to a different planet. Yeah,
the movie starts off with him talking about the death of bee colonies and explaining that Earth is very similar to a bee colony because of the aliens being present and causing all this suffering and controlling them and using them for resources and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a very similar intro to the Bee movie.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said about Jesse Plemons' character in general. Primarily that, again, he has received no support and no help. He has been left alone. He has been trying to keep taking care of his mother, who is in an unstable situation as a result of testing a antidote for an addiction, it sounded like, to, I think, opium. And it's a huge shame because we learned that his father was abusive, his babysitter, it's heavily implied, sexually assaulted him, and then became a cop. And is one of the few characters in the story who has a name and shows up numerous times. And so, like, the people he should be going to for help regarding his mother's situation are people he just does not trust because they are the ones who hurt him as well. So he has no trust for any authority. When it comes to the CEO, she is actually the CEO of the company he works for, which is why he learns of her and knows so much about her. And he kidnaps her. There's a whole scene. It's a really hilarious build-up scene, everything that they get together in order to kidnap her and bring her to the house. But once you get into the house and she's held up in the basement, he demands that she tells them that she is an alien and contacts the ship, and they shave off all her hair so she can't contact the mothership. And she is so confused.
And
so it appears.
She plays the innocence.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not an alien. I'm just a CEO, and what you're doing is crazy.
And the whole, like, pivot, like, how the story pivots makes you believe at times she is human and at times she is not. But ultimately, what they do to her, it does not matter if she's an alien or human. They outright torture her to try and get this information. They
Especially
electrocute her.
Yeah, electricity.
And the younger cousin, seeing this happening, tells the older one, you have to stop this because she's going to die. And they get up to a huge, like a big number of volts. She probably should have been fried inside and out already.
Yeah.
When the older one finally stops electrocuting her and says, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were a queen, because that's the only one that would get this, like, yield of volts.
Yeah, to me, it was very similar to the witch hunts and the witch trials and how they put them into impossible tests. And if you died, you were not a witch, but if you somehow miraculously escaped, you were one. And I thought the electrocution and the torture of the CEO, Emma Stone, was very similar to that.
Mm-hmm. And through this, like, the little cousin saves her from the electrocution, sort of. The older one, he insinuates that he's done this before to other people in that moment. And that's when a little bit of the gravity of the situation hits you. And it's not, haha, these guys are conspiracy theorists who think aliens are running the world. It's, oh, why did he have the electric chair there? This house can't sustain this amount of electricity. We see everything, like, powering down and flickering, and you can hear music through, like, the music he's playing through the house, because it's thin walls. This house isn't built for torture, right?
Yeah, and then do you want to talk about how she discovered that there was more?
Yes. Okay, so as you, the viewer, are beginning to suspect that there is a lot more to this, she, because he's finally treating her okay, lets her shower, everything she needs to do, and actually feeds her real food upstairs at the dining room table. She tries to interrogate him to understand why he's doing this, and he won't give information because he thinks it's her fault that his mother is in the state she is and everything. And he's not wrong about that in particular. She is the CEO of the company that, again, like the drug tests and whatever, did leave his mother in this state. She ends up in the basement again while he tries to deal with the cop upstairs. And because the cop comes to the house because they're searching for the CEO who's gotten kidnapped. So he's dealing with the cop, so he sends her down with his younger cousin, who we have begun to see is dealing with mental issues himself. But more as a result of what his older cousin did to him. I forgot to mention this. At the start, he injected him with this thing that would...
chemical castration.
Yeah. So that he wouldn't have, like, sexual desires and he wouldn't, like, be pulled by emotions when the alien tried to manipulate him, is what he said. But the younger cousin tells us at some point that he has felt different and angrier and more scared since that injection.
Yeah.
And I heard that, and he was in the basement alone, and he has a rifle. And I saw where that scene was going from the moment we got there because of him saying that.
And where did that scene end up?
And what happened is she convinces the younger cousin to let her go free because, like, if he, like, helps his older cousin, the guy's only going to end up in jail or worse. And and he says, okay, I'll let you go. Tell him I love him, and shoots himself in the head.
And after the younger cousin, the one on the spectrum, kills himself, then Jesse Plemons goes onto a full frenzy, and Emma Stone outright says that she is an alien and that there's an antidote for his mom, who is in a really bad position in the hospital, in her car, and it's in an antifreeze bottle that she has, but it's not antifreeze. And so he gets it and bikes quickly and dramatically over and injects her with this antifreeze, and it is just antifreeze, and she dies. And then after that, Jesse Plemons is
Enraged. Rightfully enraged, because he just killed his own mom, believing that it would save her, because
his cousin is dead.
Yeah. Everyone he cares about is completely gone now. Jesse Plemons is completely enraged. He goes, he feeds the antifreeze to his mom, and in this time that he is gone, which is only about 15 minutes tops total, honestly, she enters, she finds a wall or door or something, and she finds his collection of previous experiments, all of the evidence. There's severed body parts, heads, there are so many photos of such gruesome things that he did to people to determine who was an alien and who was not. And by the time he returns, we get the shot of her looking up through the stairs, and her head is down. It's just her eyes, and she's looking up like this. So good. And he shouts at her and screams because she did just coerce her into killing his mom. And she says, I didn't think you'd actually do that. You fucking idiot. I thought they'd apprehend you before you even got the chance to do it. I didn't think you'd believe me. And she asks him how many of the people that he murdered were aliens. And he says 3, I think.
Or 2.
Two or three. And there are so many dead people that it's you have gone through so many of these things. And maybe the first couple were actually aliens as to how he perceived them. But you have to have convinced yourself so much that this is the path to freedom and this is the only way life can be, to be willing to kill so many people, learn that they're people, even though you thought they were aliens, and keep killing and keep doing all these things. And it's insane. And the thing that really, at this point, it's clear she actually is an alien. And that's the thing that I got to, where I thought the story was much more impactful when you believe she is a human. I think that a story that revolves around community and how it's failed people should not be turning into every person is bad, which is what the story ended up being, that humanity was bad and you should just wipe it all out.
For me, I really, really liked the back and forth of, is she an alien? Is she not? Is Jesse Plemons good? Is Jesse Plemons not? So after you finally realize that, yeah, she is an alien, and yes, he's done this multiple times, then she's like, okay, I'll take you to the mothership. And this is the last point where it's maybe we read this wrong entirely, and it could be a different thing, and maybe one of them is innocent and not. But she takes him to her work and takes him into her office, and he has a full strapped-on bombs, and he has a suicide bomber jacket, and she tells him to go into this closet and she'll punch in this 55-digit number onto this random calculator and it'll send him up. And so she does this, she stalls while the other employees are looking at her weird, and then she waits 3 seconds, which is supposed to be, and then he blows up.
Inside the closet.
And apparently that's just because he got too sweaty and the bombs went off accidentally.
Yeah.
And so she's taken to the hospital in an ambulance, but she just jumps out and rushes back and punches in her calculator, the same numbers, and then goes into the closet. And you're like, oh, okay, she really is an alien. And then she's sent up, and You want to say the rest?
I would say that the alien designs were actually really cool.
It looked like
they
them
do make
normally,
a joke,
but in big parkas.
Yeah, and with very, very long, luscious hair. And they do make a joke that they tried to contact her earlier, but her hair was shaven, so they couldn't. It's like, okay. But the thing that really pisses me off is how much of the alien culture that this guy got right. I don't like justifying all that murder by saying, yeah, he was right about the aliens. Yes, they were built exactly like this. Yes, this is how they communicate, yada, yada, yada. And then it ends with her popping this bubble on a flat earth. And then all of humanity dies. The rest of life we see in it's a very beautiful montage. I really like how they did it. Everyone just collapses. Everything else on Earth is fine. It's just people and the man-made stuff and the things wielded by them that there is an issue. They're all dead. And it pissed me off because, again, it turned a story from this guy is fucked up and he is a fucked up person, but had he received help earlier, this might not have happened, to like the message that you get is, okay, all people are dumb and stupid and don't deserve to live. And again, maybe this is actually meant to portray Michelle as a flawed character by having one bad experience with a guy, and it's a really fucking bad experience, and deciding that all of humanity needs to be wiped out in return, even after he's dead. But it changes the whole weight of the story and where it hits you harder.
Yeah, and to me, I just thought it was really cool that everyone just died, and they all died in random ways, and whatever they were doing, they were just, boop, gone. So yeah, Madelyn, what was your final thoughts and rating?
My final rating was a 4 because, again, the characters were very strong. The cinematography was very strong. And for the first, I would say, 4/5 of the movie, I was like, this is a really strong story. I just think that the ending, while it didn't dilute the message of the first half as much as I worried it would, it still did change the overall impact of the story for me. So it's a 4 and nothing else.
Yeah, for me, I haven't seen much of the director's other works, Yorgos Lanthimos, but I really had a fun time. I rated it 4.5, and I think that ultimately it made the right decision in having her being alien. I get why it dilutes the message a teensy bit, but I also just I really liked that when you thought it was ended, it kept going for about 15 more minutes. And that was the part where I was like, ooh, I'm very, very happy that they did that. And ultimately, it ended how it started. And I do
It did end with the exact same shots.
I do like cyclical storytelling. So
yeah,
I was satisfied. But yeah, any other comments?
I would say even with that, even if she was an alien, it's the fact that she wiped out everyone that made it feel like it killed the message for me, you know? Because she could have taken that experience and been like, okay, there are ways we could help these people more.
Yeah.
And found the other families, because there were other families like his where their parents and their family members were comatose because of this failed drug. And she could have tried to make a better impact on people so it didn't repeat itself, you know?
Yeah, and to
Instead
me,
of killing everyone.
I'm okay with having the message be anti-humanity. I'm totally fine with that. And yeah, I think this one is just one where we disagree, but that is okay. And I think my final thought is, should it be renamed to Bugonia? And with that, we have been the Bloody Wankers.
Jerking off.